Most days I wake up in a fury. Welcome back to the Big Bad Network. I'm your host, Ed. Today, the burden of indifference in family relationships, a male perspective. Ladies and gentlemen, today we discuss an often overlooked yet deeply ingrained issue in family dynamics, indifference. Specifically, how indifference shapes relationships when you are the only male child. Now, let's be clear. This is not about dramatics, nor is it about some exaggerated tale of suffering. This is about the quiet, persistent erosion of connection, the unspoken burdens, and the expectation that as a son, brother, cousin, or nephew, you will simply carry on without question. The weight of expectations. From the moment a boy enters a family, society places upon him an invisible yet unwavering responsibility. He is expected to be strong, resilient, and independent. Unlike his sisters, who are encouraged to bond emotionally, to share, to be vulnerable, he is conditioned to be self-sufficient. He is not asked about his emotions. He is told to man up. He is not given the space to be heard. He is told to listen. And so, without even realizing it, he learns that in his own family, he is an observer rather than a participant in an emotional matter or any emotional matters. When he achieves something, it is acknowledged with a nod. When he fails, it is a test of his strength. When he is struggling, well, you'll figure it out. And when he tries to break this cycle, to connect, to express frustration, the response is often dismissive, you're overthinking it, or a passive. That's just how things are. This is the foundation of familial indifference. Not intentional neglect, but an ingrained, unquestioned emotional detachment. The paradox of responsibility without recognition. Here's where the situation takes a turn from frustrating to downright absurd. Despite being treated as an afterthought in emotional matters, the moment responsibility enters the conversation, the male child is suddenly at the center of it all. Parents aging, you are the man now. Take care of things. Financial difficulties, you'll figure it out, won't you? Family disputes, you should mediate. Be the bigger person. But what happens when he needs support, when he needs guidance? That same energy does not return. The family that expects him to be reliable suddenly becomes unreliable for him. Herein lies the paradox. He is both invisible and indispensable. The indifference that cuts deepest. Perhaps the most damaging aspect of this indifference is that it doesn't feel cruel. It feels normal. It is a quiet dismissal rather than outright rejection. There is no malice in forgetting his birthday, but neither is there effort in remembering it. There's no hostility in failing to ask about his struggles, but neither is there concern to check in. This indifference is masked as tough love, disguised as respect for his autonomy, but in reality, it is an abdication of effort, a slow, steady message that says, "You are expected to care about us, but we will not extend the same in return." Breaking the cycle. A choice, not a duty. So what can be done? The truth is, you cannot force people to care. You cannot teach emotional investments to those who have no interest in learning it. What you can do, however, is decide how much effort you are willing to give. Family by blood is not always family by connection. And if those around you insist on treating you with indifference, then perhaps it is time to stop fighting for their attention. Instead, invest in those who reciprocate, who acknowledge, and who appreciate. Because at the end of the day, the question is not whether you are a good son, brother, cousin, or nephew. The question is, are they good family to you? Thanks for joining this podcast today. See you in the next one.